What is going on, true believers? I hope you're having a great morning. My name is Bleaves. CPI inflation is out of control right now, going absolutely bonkers. 3.2 with a core of 3.8. Those are giant numbers. And what's the explanation for that? Well, the explanation for that is greed. If you look at the stock market, still running at an all-time high, you're still seeing everything pumping, and there's no incentive, by the way, for these companies to stop gouging you for money. And the reason for that is because, let's not forget here, this is the important part. The government is still just printing money, and the national debt just continues to rise and rise and rise and rise and rise. And all of these companies, they can just get a piece of it. And who can they press, and who can they stress, and who can they create this problem with? You, the consumer. They do this to you because you don't matter. You don't matter to them. What matters to them is profit motive. And with that being the case, they're not really incentivized to do anything other than just maintain and continue raising prices. Now, you might remember I had a conversation with you about 90 days ago because Walmart at the end of December said that prices were about to come down because they had found, the supply chain was fine. There was no issues. Prices keep continuing to dwindle. And in fact, if you were to buy something on Amazon today, you might see some real indications of dwindling in price structure, et cetera, et cetera. You might see that, but you're not seeing it at the store. Why are you not seeing it at the store? Bottom line, because capitalism owns your soul. All of the stuff that you were convinced as a kid, capitalism is the greatest thing that's ever existed. That's exactly why. That's exactly why opportunity, freedom is here for everybody. Well, that opportunity right now is gouging you absolutely for every dollar they can possibly get. Now, in my area, in fact, I've always joked because there's a BP gas station around me, or a BP refinery in Whiting, Indiana, and that services the entire Midwest, right? Every single time gas prices come down, there's an accident at BP refinery, right? They were even investigated by the state of Michigan. You go check this out, by the way. But they were investigated by the state of Michigan several years ago, because why is it that every time gas prices start to go way down, the BP Whiting refinery suddenly has to close down for 2 weeks or something like that? Like they're manipulating the markets, right? Well, they paid a settlement because you can only charge so much as a settlement. They basically admitted they were doing it. Like, what are you going to do? So it was wild to see it actually happen. But it shows you what bad actors all these people are. It's not limited, by the way, to like an oil company or anything like that. Like, these guys are gouging you for price action. Gas around me right now, I think it's like $3.39. So, and by the way, gas price, oil price, none of that stuff is like exploding or anything like that. But because the BP refinery is suddenly, quote unquote, offline again, that's what happens. And this is going on everywhere. Little pieces, little things like that, little pretend problems in supply chain, and answering to stockholders instead of your employees, answering to all these people. Capitalism at its finest. This is for you, Milton J. Friedman. You broke everything. You ruined it all. However, the one thing that you didn't ruin is Bitcoin, because BlackRock is still continuing to buy. BlackRock now owns 200,000 Bitcoin. And we might be, what somebody says, we might be in a stalemate. We're going to talk about that. There's 3 reasons that they think it's going to be in a stalemate. And then finally, cat-themed memes are taking off. What is going on? By the way, I've partnered with Nico, and you'll be hearing a little bit more about them. Did you see BenCoin? Did you see what happened with Ben today or yesterday? Did you see what BenCoin is doing? I hope you did. If you didn't, you're about to see it. And then, I think maybe we got that covered. And no, to answer your question, no, I haven't had any coffee this morning because I can't do that anymore. This is not financial advice, but I'm always right.
It's your boy Bleav. Everybody listen up. Let's get it. I'm trying to put money in your pocket. That crypto wallet. That bing bada bing ching ching big profit. Even when the market sideways, I'm looking for ways to get paid. I'm checking my coins around breakfast, then again around bedtime. Bet this, it's not financial advice, but I'm always right. 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 I'm always right.
All right, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate each and every one of you. You got plenty of different things that you can be doing with your day. The fact that you're spending it with me certainly does not fall on deaf ears. I appreciate each and every one of you and thank each and every one of you for your support. If you do support me, by the way, the best things you can do to support me is to support the people who support my channel. Those people are Bencoin. Bencoin supports the channel. Nico is in the house supporting the channel right now. NordVPN, if you haven't, for your privacy, security, and protection, sign up with NordVPN today. Link is in the description down below. Who else am I missing here? Fairdesk. If you haven't already, consider signing up with Fairdesk. Look, you can still sign up, by the way, at the link in the description down below for MEXC, for Bybit, for Femex, for any one of these guys. You can still sign up for them. But my preferred partner right now is Fairdesk because they've been helping me along for the last little while. And Cryptonomy.finance, definitely go check them out. If you're not going to trade your crypto for a while, stake it, do something with it, like hold on to it. So let's kick it off with the first thing here. BlackRock's IBIT spot Bitcoin ETF amasses 200,000 Bitcoin in 2 months. So now we've got an incredible amount of Bitcoin being pulled off of the market and moved over into IBIT. Now, they're just one of them, but basically they're about 50% of the market. So, just consider that 400,000 or so Bitcoin have been taken off of the market total, not to include what's in Grayscale. Now, the total is 420,000 because somebody's messing with me with their weed references today. I don't know why they do that. You guys know why they do that? I think they're just messing with me. Anyway, last week, IBIT surpassed MicroStrategy's 193,000 Bitcoin holds and still continues to buy. Now, does Michael Saylor get pressed in order for him to buy more? Well, he's OTC, like he's buying on spot, or he's buying maybe OTC. He's just doing a transfer, right? He's not somebody who's taking it off of the market, if you will, but he is kind of, because he's a long-term hodler. He was like, if it goes to $1 million, I'm still not selling. Okay, boomer. You know what I mean? So in comparison, assets held by Grayscale's higher fee Grayscale Bitcoin Trust. So this is the total number, okay? Grayscale Bitcoin had 619,000 Bitcoin at the beginning. They now have 388,000. So 420 plus 388 is 808,000 Bitcoin are now off of exchanges. So unbelievable what's going on over there. So if you haven't already, definitely, if you're an investment person, definitely go check them out. Now, in other news, cat-themed meme coins and AI tokens post large gains in recent rally. And by the way, this is a time for me to say that I am now partnered with Nico. Nico is a cat-themed meme coin in the Solana meme space, and it's done by Shaka Crypto. Now, I was looking for, by the way, while we're at it, let's go ahead and pop it up on screen. I was looking for a breakout of it to a new level, but the market kind of reversed last night, and we saw a little bit of a trickle to this downside. We're seeing still a lot of activity, as you can see right here, a lot of buying, a lot of selling. There's a lot of movement on the chart, but so far we haven't caught that level to say that there's the big reversal is in. So I'm going to take this, I'm going to move this out just a little bit, kind of show you, how it's breaking out. Now it's still breaking towards that upside, still got upside momentum, but as you can see right here, and I mean, this is standard for a lot of these different tokens, right? You're just looking for that next big move. Now, I'm being told that there's going to be a big campaign this week for a lot of people to get invested, and a lot of opportunity potentially for Nico. I'm not an investment advisor. I'm not telling you what you could or should invest in at all. But I am telling you that at 58.75, you got to consider, even at a worst case scenario, Even at a worst case scenario, let's flip the screen here. Even in a worst case scenario, you would consider at 58.75, you're coming back up to the 618. You're going into the golden ratio, right? Every token goes into the golden ratio. So you're looking at a move into this range right here, which is right there, 1268. So from 58.75 to at least 1268 would seem to be in play. Now, is it in play? I don't know. But if it does go back and it does retest that and it breaks over that, then the next move is going to be to the 382, which is going to be a retest at 1944. 1944 would represent about a 4x from where it is right now. That would just get it over here to a $1 million market cap. So, consider here, this could be a $5 or $10 million market cap. Even, just there's no accounting for what's going to end up happening, right? But it's got a pretty strong community going into it. And and by the way, it should be noted that I think that a lot of this was that FOMO hype and stuff like that. And Shaka it doesn't do any marketing or anything like that, not yet. So I'm the first person that he partnered with. There's going to be some more that are going to be announced over the next couple of days. But I mean, some big people are going to be part of this Nico. Remember, anytime there's a Solana meme coin that pops out, I mean, they tend to run, right? So this thing is moving. And by the way, that last move it's going through this chamber right here, if you will. And if you put it like that and just consider the next move, probably that impulse move. And where does it end? Right there at the 618. So I think that it's heading into that. We're going to drop a 0, most probably, and then if it continues on, could have a correction back to the downside, but there'll be more holders. So what you'll probably see is this right here, because then it comes to the 786 line. And then we start getting that move to the 382. Do you see how that plays out, by the way, on this chart? In fact, if you look right here, that goes right there. And if you look right here, that goes right there. These are the levels that you're probably going to see. So I would think that you'll probably get an opportunity for a pretty big win if you're looking for just that, if you're looking for one of those big wins. So, but that's just my opinion. The point is, there are a lot of cat-themed meme coins. By the way, don't forget Lenny Lunk is out there. Lenny is the only meme coin, definitely the only cat meme coin, but the only meme coin in the Luna Classic communities. So cat-themed meme coins have demonstrated a significant uptrend in the past week. According to this week's Bitfinex Alpha report, cat-themed sector has collectively witnessed over a 64% gain in the past 7 days. Cat-themed meme coins have reached a cumulative market cap of over 750 million. Although this figure is relatively modest compared to the dog themes, it demonstrates, if nothing else, the huge shift taking place in favor of crypto-memed animal coins. The top 3 coins by market capitalization, CoinGecko, cat-themed categories account for 80% of the total market capitalization. This underscores a significant concentration within the niche. However, there are Wen, Popcat, and Toshi who are ranked first, second, and third. So there's plenty of opportunity for growth. $850 million market cap in this range right here. So, let's see if this thing doesn't pump. I mean, there's going to be a lot of money that's in the cat-themed meme coin sort of space. And as more exposure pops out, how much of this Wen money, how much of this Popcat money, how much of this Toshi money ends up running over into something like a Nico? So we'll see what happens. Next up, US CPI unexpectedly rises to 3.2 annual pace in February. Stubbornly high inflation so far in 2024 appears to be standing in the way of the Fed's willingness to begin cutting rates. And that's the big thing right now, is you're not going to get rate cuts when you don't have when you don't have a good inflation number, right? The core rate, which strips out food and energy, also disappointed to the upside, coming in at 3.8 against an expectation of 3.7. Now, this is 3.2 versus 3.1, by the way, and 3.8 versus 3.7. So it's not that bad, but it is still bad because it should be coming down. So on a monthly basis, the CPI rose to 0.4. By the way, new backer, who dis? In case you guys didn't notice that. And again, those are my holdings. Make sure you hit the like button and the subscribe button on the way in. Helps push me up in the algorithm. It's the very least that you could possibly do to enjoy this content for free every single day. On a monthly basis, the CPI rose 0.4 in February in line with estimates and up from 0.3 in January. Core CPI rose 0.4 ahead of expectations for 0.3 and flat from January's 0.4. So we're still seeing sticky inflation continuing. Now, this, by the way, does mean that at some point, the Fed is going to have to consider raising rates one more time. So coming into the year, markets had priced in roughly 5 or 6 rate cuts in 2024 as soon as the U.S. Federal Reserve March meeting takes place. Decent economic growth and inflation figures that remain stubbornly above the Fed's 2% target, however, have slashed those rate cut expectations. Anticipated timing for the first rate cut has now been pushed out to the summer. Now, it's been pushed out to the summer because now these rate cuts are not going to happen the way that it's expected, right? So if that's the case, the market obviously has tanked, right? Obviously, the Dow Jones industrial average is probably destroyed. It's probably never going to recover. It's probably like in the tank, right? No, it's at a goddamn all-time high. I mean, are we kidding ourselves here? You guys, I mean, hopefully I'm not, and I know I'm not, but hopefully I'm not the only person that sees this. This is the purest of manipulations. And when you look at this and you figure out what's going on, the Dow Jones Industrial Average continues to soar to all-time highs. How could it do that if we have sticky inflation and if all of this shit is priced in? Well, the answer to that is it can't. What's going on? It's unbelievable, right? But what's going on is that capitalism is gouging you, the consumer, for every dollar you have. It is pillaging your wallet nonstop because that's what happens, right? By the way, this market, could in the next 12 minutes, we might see a little pump out of it because the Chinese market, the Arab market, and the European market were takers tonight. So we might see a reversal because we were down about $40 billion on the day just a few short hours ago, and now it's down to like 15 or 16. So it's possible that we see the U.S. market come through and start to pump Bitcoin, especially with this news, moving away from the Dow Jones, moving away from the SPY and the NASDAQ on the day. But I mean, it's ridiculous what you're seeing right now. And what you're seeing is a testament to the issue. And the issue is very simple. The issue is these people are price gouging you because they know they can get away with it, because they know that the U.S. government is going to step in and put trillions of dollars into the economy, and we're not doing anything about the national debt. I saw a chart, by the way, that showed how quickly the national debt increased by trillions, and the first trillion was like this big, and the second and the last trillion was like that, like it's a little sliver. Like we're adding trillions to the deficit in like 3 month spans, as opposed to before when it took like 5 years to get there to a $1 trillion. I mean, George Bush blew this whole thing up, right? I mean, we at least admit that the U.S. had a balanced budget. Everything was fine coming out of the Clinton years. And the first thing that George Bush did was dramatically cut taxes. And like, I really like the fact that you're cutting taxes. By the way, the cutting of the taxes is not the issue. The issue with the cutting of the taxes is that all of the things that were previously supported were unsupported and no longer. And now we have to start cutting school programs, education funding, and all these pieces. Slowly but surely, we have to catabolize the system. And but here's the thing: we don't stop military spending, because that's jobs, and that's senators that have those jobs in those places that will vote in their better interest. Lindsey Graham, that Southern Belle has never met a conflict he would not like to throw some capital at. Lordy mercy, I declare, I think that it is one of the most important things that we do is to make sure that we get our military equipment over there into whatever country, insert the country name. Oh, Lordy mercy, is it hot in here or what? Whatever the fuck he says. But these guys, they're bad actors, right? They're all bad actors. And oh Lord, I can't believe it's so hot in this closet. I need to come out of this closet. Oh my God, Lindsey Graham. Oh Lord, have mercy. You know what I mean? So here we are. And Julio Don, funny thing, I got a feeling that Joe Biden is about to do the same thing because I think they're going to read the writing on the wall. And I think Joe Biden is going to come up and Liz Warren's going to say, hiya bunga, they taking all the money from a Bitcoin. Me no have a U.S. economy. And then Joe Biden's going to be like, what is your if you're Pocahontas, right? Shut the fuck up, Pocahontas. You don't know anything. You know what I mean? And then he's gonna be like, yeah, we support crypto. We think that's the that's gonna be the same. Actually, it's one of the better look, y'all, it's one of the better Southern accents you're ever going to find. So don't pretend like you don't know that I'm not from the South to begin with, and I can do it if I need to. So, but anyway, so I do think that he's actually going to end up supporting crypto. I think we're going to end up seeing some kind of support for crypto from the Democratic Party because I think they need the votes. So they're going to try to say, well, we're going to try to put some infrastructure in place, but blah, 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 and some blah, blah, and whatever the fuck they say. All right. So anyway, Bitcoin, by the way, pumping and up on the day. Just not going to believe it, but yep, Bitcoin's up on the day. So getting back to the U.S. Core problem of inflation. I don't know what the next step is here, but I assume that we're going to go hawkish again, and we're going to have a big change in monetary policy. We're probably going to see another rate hike. I think that's what we're probably looking at in order to curb if the inflation is this sticky, right? Then you're not going to fix it the way that we're going right now, which is to continue to add trillions to the debt over and over and over again. You're going to have to do something about it. And at this point, we haven't done anything about it. So maybe we will. Now, 3 reasons why Bitcoin may enter a stalemate around here. Now, I was reading through this stuff and look, there's people out here who think, very rightly so, by the way, that, this is probably it. Like, we're probably going to cool off for a little while. And it would be fair to say that we're probably going to cool off. I mean, if you look at and you zoom out and you kind of take a picture in your mind of Bitcoin and you use like a daily chart, I mean, guys, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out like at some point, we got to chill the fuck out. I mean, you go back here, like we've been on basically, I mean, this is a rocket ride. This has been something of a rocket ride, right? So then the question would become like, how far do we go? And here's the problem with all of the logic, okay? And I think it's safe to say that this rocket ride is going to continue. And the reason for that is because what I'm about to show you are 3 reasons based on the old ways of Bitcoin, the old ways. We're not in the old ways anymore. So we're going to go through the article. Bitcoin has been on a meteoric rise, shattering previous all-time highs and cementing its status as the apex cryptocurrency. However, a closer look at the technicals suggests we may be approaching a juncture where the momentum could stall, potentially leading to a stalemate. Here are 3 reasons that might cause the Bitcoin USDT chart to enter a period of consolidation. Psychological resistance at all-time highs. Is that happening? First of all, no. We just went from 69,000 to 72,000, and we're consolidating at 72,000. So I do want to say that these guys are making up a scenario for their brains at this point, right? As the price hovers around the all-time high, we approach a psychological resistance level. Investors who previously bought at highs might look to break even on their investment, which can lead to increased selling pressure. That's the stupidest take I've ever seen, right? There's no narrative in which that's what's happening in Bitcoin right now. Now, could that happen if we were in a consolidation period for another month or 2 because somebody wants to take their capital out and do something with it? Yeah, it's called altcoin season, dingbat. You know what I mean? So, but here's the thing. While that's happening, ETFs are still going to get bought. So we've entered a conundrum, by the way, a problem, if you will. And I want to stress this right now. No matter what, the Bitcoin ETFs are going to continue buying, and these financial institutions who are partnering with the newborn 9, those guys are learning how to sell people on the idea of Bitcoin. So it's going to continue to run. It's not done yet. Now, the portion to that matters the most, the big part to that is they're gonna keep adding new holders into this Bitcoin portfolio. It's gonna continue to rise. Now, while it continues to rise, the economy or the markets and everything else is gonna do whatever they do. The problem with all of this is we're still gonna make sure, by the way, that you hit the like button on the way in. Helps push me up in the algorithm, and we got more people coming in as we speak. But the next move here is if we go sideways, we're just going sideways. We're not going way back down, not yet, for a correction. We haven't even saturated the market. These guys, it's been February. We're in March. It's or January. It's 2 months. We're just getting started. So if I were to show you what it looked like with the gold ETFs, like they were just kind of meandering along, and as we were learning how to sell them, we were doing it and doing it and doing it, and then boom, it just took off because people are now coming into the market that hadn't been coming into the market before. That's what's going on. So if that's the case, then it stands to reason that there's something to what I'm saying here. We're going to continue moving in a positive direction. Will we have flash crashes? Yes. How quickly was it bought up? Real fast. Now, why was it bought up so fast on that last flash crash? Well, let's pull it up here, and you can look at it on this chart here, and you can see there's that big flash crash that happened right here on this little red candle right there. That was when we hit that high, and then all of a sudden it was the all-time high, and then we came down. We're above that now. So this narrative that they're trying to weave right here doesn't make a lot of sense. RSI divergence. The RSI is a momentum indicator that measures the magnitude of recent price changes to evaluate overbought or oversold condition. An RSI divergence occurs when the price records a higher high, but the RSI fails to confirm with its own higher high, signaling weakening momentum. The attached chart might not explicitly show this divergence, but should the RSI demonstrate lower peaks while the price is hitting highs. And by the way, what it's telling you right now is that there's actually a bullish divergence that came up on the chart in March. So what it's telling you is that it's going to continue on. It's not going to slow down. You've got a bullish divergence on the RSI. So just ridiculous what's going on here. Extending away from moving average, Bitcoin's price is now well above the 50 and the 200-day moving average, a sign of a robust uptrend. Now, what does that generally mean when you look at it? Well, come over to the daily and you look at the chart, and let's pop that up into this range right here. You can see that we're way up above, where we should be right now. The question that remains is, where do we come for a retest? Well, right now, remember this pocket here that I told you guys that we were going to pop into right here? Well, we came through there, and that's where we got the test on the sell-off, right? Wick down to 59,000, and then it was back off to the races. Well, the reason for that was because there was a pocket of liquidity, there was a pocket of money that was just kind of sitting there. And if we come over and we look at these charts right now, that pocket of money is sitting at 71,000 on the 24-hour, on the 3-day, which is a better indication because it gives you a little longer time frame. Then that number is in the 71,000, maybe even down to the 70,000. But look how empty all of this is down here in the 60s ranges, right? We are trending around this range. Like we're pulling liquidity from recent people coming into the market. When we skip out to the weekly, then we see the same thing, but we see that pocket right now. That pocket, if we were coming for it, is around 65,000. Okay. So let's take that into consideration and understand that 65,000 represents a new paradigm and a new range. Let's move this up into the 65,000 range right about here. I want to say like right in that range right there. So when are we going to come down and test this? Well, for the 20 MA, it would take 1, 2, 3, 4, probably 4 days before we get there. So if you're looking for a natural play out, you're going to see something like this to 77,000, and then you're going to see a boom right into this range, maybe even get one of those wicks down below just to say that we did it. But, it's going up still. And then this part right here. So, you might see that wick kind of boom out here, and then it's just back off to the races, and we're heading to 80 or 85,000. You know what I mean? Believes tried to do Italian accent one day long ago. It was bad. You know what? I don't do an Italian accent. I don't do very good with the Italian accent. If I do, I try to do it in a comedy sense, and I don't really get it. I don't really, it doesn't, you know what I mean? So, hey, Look, Mr. 30,000 Bitcoin will not happen is telling me that I'm looking for $100,000 Bitcoin. Dude, you haven't been right yet, man. You got to stop. You got to get on Team Believes. You got to get on Team Believes and cut this shit out, man. Be right for once. You got to be right dude, you got to be right sometime. So anyway, 77,000 is the next impulse move that's about to happen. It could be anywhere from 77 to 80,000. So putting this up in the range here. So the next move for Bitcoin is to this range. And then this is going to be, we'll put this in red because this is going to be where it stops for the moment. And then after that, after we're done with that, that's going to be red too. So that's going to be where we stop. And then we'll probably come back for a retest. And I mean, I don't make this shit up. I just pointed out. So that's the move right there. That's the move. 77, 78, 80,000. You might get a FOMO feeling. You might get that like, oh shit, here we go. And it'll probably happen, by the way, at 75. You're going to get a cool off period here at 75 before another impulse move. Most probably 75 just makes too much sense, if you will. So you'll probably see something like that happen. But that's the next move for Bitcoin. So now these underlying factors, they are bullshit. They're not going to happen. So, forget that. Anyway, so let's go on and let's clear this off and then boom. If you guys didn't see this, fantastic. This is Justin Gilmore. He's the owner of BTM Machines. Reached out to us, back in September of last year about doing this. And now we have the Ben machines. And by the way, let me show you a couple pictures of them. This is a side view of the machine. And then this is the other side. So you can see right here, DeFi the banks. That was Ben's idea, by the way. Ben, and he was so proud of himself. But anyway, so btmmachines.com. They have about 800 ATMs around the country, BTM, Bitcoin machines. So you can go buy your Ben tokens right now through these machines, and they're going to be rolled out all over the country. It's going to be fantastic. I mean, this is an advertising brand. They reached out to Ben. They thought this would be a great partnership. That Ben would be a great spokesperson kind of guy for them. It's going to be one of those things. So last night we made the announcement. These things are rolling out to a store near you. Go look it up, btmmachines.com, if you want to go see where one is. And you can go buy Bitcoin. You can go buy anything. By the way, if you want to buy an Ethereum right now, your gas fee on these machines, $15 right here. So if you want to buy, then right here, it's whatever you want to buy plus a $15 fee. They use a ZK rollup. So boom, 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 boom. You don't have to pay. And you can do 100 to 300, 300 to 3,000, and then 3,000 to 20,000 in a day on this machine. So if you want to make a buy, then you don't have to pay the big gas fee. So if you got $100 and something gas fee right now, you just go to one of these machines, or if you're out doing something, you just hit one of these machines and you look up and you go to, one of these things and you look at like your gas price and you see on the Ethereum network, you're like, Jesus Christ, gas fee $61. That means it's over $100 right now. So you'd be like, oh, fuck that. And you know what I mean? Then you can decide for yourself to just like, nah, I don't think so. And you can just buy it on one of these machines. Now, does that make them optimal? Of course not. That's, this is just this is a vanity thing. It's a very interesting sort of thing. It's a way to help mass adoption. And that's what Bencoin is all about, is mass adoption. So, that's what's, that's the big thing that's happening right now. So hopefully it's going to be very cool. So now it's time to start breaking down some charts and figuring out what in the absolute is going on with these markets. So let's break it into first of all, Bitcoin. We really kind of went over that already. I told you that 77,000 to 80,000. That's going to be the next big impulse move. We should see that breakout. I mean, I don't know exactly when we're going to see that breakout, but it's going to break out. When it does, boom. Ethereum down by about 1% per day. I did tell you guys I think there's a correction coming on Ethereum because Dencun is here. So it would be my estimation that we're going to get a big move up to this 4,300 line, maybe today. Like maybe we see all of this kind of rip today, but then Dencun comes and then it's by the rumors, sell the news. The last time we had an upgrade, going back into the daily charts, right? That was in right here, August of 2022. This is when we got this is the spot right there where we got the first part of this upgrade. This is where we got ETH 2.0. And then what you saw on that day was gone from there. Okay. Now the market was in a bear market, so we were going to get that anyway. We may not get this retracement that we got here. That's the important part. So we went from this top down here to this bottom, which was a 46% drawdown. Do we see another 46% drawdown on this price action? God damn it, I hope so. That would be fantastic. But I mean, the answer to that is probably no. We're going to move that out and we're going to clear that a little bit. And as you can see, I mean, this thing is just running hot. Everything is running super hot. Hopefully, we get a move up into 4,300 within the next couple of hours, because it will take in the next couple of hours, by the way. Otherwise, Dencun will be out, and then boom, we're headed back down. So it's got to be today. We get a nice big green candle like this. And if we get this green candle again, boom, boom, then it matches up perfectly, right? And then if that happens, then we're going to start coming back down. Now we expect a 20% drawdown. So in the event that we get up here, we're looking at a drawdown to about 3,500, maybe even 3,300. But I would say 3,500 most probably, because that represents about a 15, 20% drawdown. And then we still got the problem with coming down is we've still got something like this, and it continues on. The reason for that is, of course, the halving is approaching, which is, I got it a little bit over here in May right now, but it should be a little bit further over. But I think it's like April 20 right now. So yeah, it's gonna be April 20. So that was originally when it was set up. I think it's 420 right now. So we got this move coming, and then we're gonna go sideways, and then boom, like we're gonna like this line right here is that trend line. That's that long-standing trend line, and I think that we're gonna respect that for a little while. So even if we come down, 35, we're coming back up, and then boom, and then we're off to the races. So I think Ethereum is just going to continue banging out. I did not take profit, by the way, on my Aave trade last night. While it was up at $138. I didn't. I thought, like, I'm just going to hold on to it for a little bit longer and see what happens, because I mean, you never know, right? Maybe it goes up to 150, like I said it was going to do. Of course, there's going to be dips along the way, but as you can see with this, it was up to like $800 or 750 or something, some ridiculous number like that. Now it's down to 365. So I was up 200% basically, like 220%. And now it's down to up 105%. And then with Bitcoin, still same thing. I mean, still sitting around $1,300 profit. I'm looking for that impulse move off of Bitcoin up to that next leg, right? We're just, look at this. We're hovering at the all-time high. So we're going to continue sending on this thing. Now, doesn't mean that we're not going to get a retest down here at 70,008. Doesn't mean we're not going to get a retest here at 69,007. But I mean, I got into this thing at 61,000. Like, why the hell would I sell at this point? Like, there's my entry right down here. I entered right here at 61,607. Like, the question is, will Bitcoin ever come back down to 61,000 again? Now, the answer to that is, yeah, I mean, it could. It just did, by the way. But my estimated liquidation is 59,300. And in the event that I saw something start to move down, I would set myself up with a bigger buy. I would double my position if it comes near 59. You know what I mean? Like I would just absolutely say, well, forget that. And I'll double that position because I'm real comfortable with Bitcoin continuing to go. So we'll see what happens. But CODM and Crypto has a question and its thoughts on Gwei tomorrow. So there's two upgrades that were coming with with this Ethereum upgrade. One was called Cancun and one was called Deneb. One of them was to increase throughput on Ethereum network, and the other one was to increase the throughput by data blobs on the L2s and the ZK rollups. So both of those are going to come out at the same time. The fact that both of them are coming out at the same time would indicate to me that there's going to be some relief in gas fees. Currently 56 right now. It's $70 for a transaction. That's stupid, right? But I think we're going to see this thing probably. I don't think it's going to cut in half, but I mean, if it goes no higher than 40 ever again, aren't we going to be better for it? You know what I mean? And in a moment like right now, where it's running a little bit hot, if it just runs at 40 or so, that would be kind of cool. If it runs at 20 or 13, like that would be great. But the whole idea was both of those were going to help to fix it, and it was going to fix congestion, and that's what we want. We want congestion fixed. So if we get that, then we're going to be just fine. So I do think that we're in for. I do think that we're in for some price decrease, but I think most of the decrease is going to come from the L2s. The data blobs, by the way, do not affect L1 at all. So, and what's happening is the data blobs allow for the sharing of the data and the completion of the transactions in kind of its own ecosystem. Inside that blob is where it completes, so it doesn't take up a lot of space on the network. That's the idea behind proto-dank sharding and the data blob. However, um, um, that the data blob is on the layer and it doesn't affect layer one. Okay. However, it could relieve some of the congestion caused by L2s, but L2s don't really congest the network ridiculously. So I think that there's I don't think that there's any kind of reason to think that there's going to be anything special about the fees going down, but you will see a little bit of relief. So if we see a little bit of relief, it's going to be better than no relief. And I mean, a lot of people are trading, but look, it's the whales that are doing most of the trading on Ethereum. The degens, I mean, we've all moved to Solana, right? I mean, at this point, who the hell's still trading on Ethereum every day? Like, are we flipping stuff on Ethereum? Like, who does that? I don't know that anybody's really. I mean, I see the volume, so I know that people are doing it, but I tend to think that it's either whales or crackheads that are doing it, because there's no way that you want to just give your money away to some of these tokens. So, but anyway, BNB still around the all-time high. Again, I think there's an impulse move to 575 coming on BNB. No reason to think that's changed. Fundamentally, Solana is still the darling of the industry at this point. Went up to 155 last night. Still continuing to have a nice little. Let's look at the 1 hour. We had a nice little pump. Now we're having that little correction, but we're still not coming down. So, I think that Solana is off to the moon pretty soon again. Render cooling off just a little bit. We didn't get a retracement at all, but we're using all three of these lines here as, let's pop this up. We're using all three of our lines right now as resistance, which would mean that there's probably some downside coming for render. So if you got in on the pop, I don't know whether it's going to continue on. So, we could be looking at some downward momentum on render. I'd be keeping an eye on that. API 3, I'm still waiting for that breakout, still sitting in range. I'm certainly not depressed with where it's going right now. It's really kind of sitting in a perfect spot. Had a little breakout, didn't maintain the breakout. And then, it's just kind of slowly continuing its way up. I think this is $1 billion market cap item, a couple $1 billion, and we'll see what happens. Luna Classic down about 3%, but as you can see right here, I drew this like a monkey, and just it's still wedging out, so it's probably going to have a big pump. USTC not as wedged in its formation, but probably still will move upwards a little bit, not a lot. Volt dumped 7.5%. I was told Pablo sold again. I don't know if that's true or not. I don't know. This was supposed to be breaking out towards that upside, but I guess I should have seen that we had a double top right here and it was due for a correction. If you can look at it right there, you can see there's a double top. So there's a reason for the correction. That's not Pablo. But by the way, every time somebody sells on Volt, they blame it on Pablo. Or at least DJ Legends does. blames it on Pablo because I guess they hate each other or something like that now. Also, I mean, in fairness, DJ didn't borrow his money. Didn't use CoinRabbit to wreck his chart. So, I mean, I guess there's something positive out of it. And I'm not saying that Pablo did either, but I'm not saying that he didn't because I keep hearing that he did. So, I don't know. But it doesn't matter to me. Like, I mean, you're allowed to invest however you want. You know what I mean? You are allowed to invest however you want. Okay. Nico, contract address. We'll post that into the chat. That's the Nico address right there. Anyway, Cardano had a nice little breakout up to almost 80 cents. Still just kind of ranging though. That nice little move. Hope you caught it. By the way, make sure you got capital on the side just in case something like this happens again. Avalanche went up 10% on the day. Started to retrace a little bit now, but I mean, look at that. Avalanche just absolutely ripping one more time again. Came back down for a retest on the 20, breaking out one more time. SHIB 32.23. SHIB is due for, I mean, that looks, I mean, just like everything else, when you look at it like this, you see like that move right there, and you're looking for that wedge breakout. So, I mean, until it doesn't happen, you consider that that's probably what's going to happen. Same thing here. You got a wedge pattern formed. So we'll see whether or not there's a breakout. Same thing right here. You've got wedge pattern formed. We'll see if there's a breakout. That was SHIB, Bone, and Doge, one after the other. Arbitrum not looking the same. I told you guys yesterday, if it didn't break out in here, it's probably coming down for a retest. Hopefully, it just hits that heart line at $1.90, but it could come all the way down to here and then break out from there. And I said that if it comes down, that it's going to break out that way. Atom 13,394. Not exactly as robust as this one, but still kind of in that pennant formation. Conflux. Pennant formation, waiting for a breakout. Crow is just heading straight up like that. You might take this and say it's that way, and I mean, fair enough, but it's got an odd formation, but I do think that it's heading for another move to 20 cents and then beyond. Dot at 10.6. Grok, by the way, Grok continuing to break out. And guys, I told you that Grok was gonna continue its breakout. We're gonna skip through some of these right now. Phantom, I think Phantom is ready for another move. I mean, guys, if you look at all of this stuff, what should these charts be telling you? And if your answer is yeah, we're about to have an altcoin season, then you're right. Now is this the shakeout before the breakout? I don't know. Pepe's down, but it's still like it's not down. It's like in range. I mean, you guys have to consider that all of these things are coiling up for a big move. I mean, everything. Look at it. I mean, just look at these charts. Everything is coiling up for a big move. Nothing looks like it's not. And then Injective broke out, is up 11%. And I don't know what their volume looks like in the last 24 hours. On the chains here, 24-hour volume. Injective is up to number 19, $25 million in volume. And yesterday's volume, by the way, 2.7 billion for Ethereum, 1.52 for Solana. So you can see Solana meme coins are cooling off. BSC meme coins were pumping. They're starting to cool off a little bit. Arbitrum at $1 billion roughly. And then Thor. Thor is the number 5 blockchain right now. So I mean, don't bet against Thor, which by the way had a breakout again the other day. Where is Rune? Here we go. It had a breakout again the other day. I mean, when you're trading, it's just going to continue, right? Zig down 7%, Cortex down 6.5%. Cortex, by the way, I think I'm gonna enter a position on Cortex here. This is one of those 3 meme coins or one of those 3 coins I was telling you about. It's one of those AIs. I think it's gonna rip. Same thing with same thing with Zig here. It had a big pump yesterday. It broke out. It's coming back down. If it retests right here successfully and then breaks out, then it's going to go into one of those all-time highs or recapture one of those all-time highs. Myro, real quick. Myro continues to break down. Now, my number for Myro continues to be that it's going to go to 50 cents next. It's going to have another big move. And here's the thing. Even when it doesn't have a big move, it just coils up and gets ready for the next big move. You know what I mean? So until it doesn't, until you got to break out here on the daily and then just look at it. I mean, it just continues. It continues to add to what it's doing. And at some point, it's one of these big moves where, we're sitting here ranging at the all-time high. Like, how are you not bullish when you see it ranging at the all-time high? It's looking to test higher. It is looking to break out even more. So I think Myro comes up here and tests maybe 50 cents into this range right here. What I guess, if it does this, boom, back down here into the 36 cent range, and then boom, it's going to $1. It's probably $1 billion market cap, just waiting to happen at this point. So, I mean, we'll see if it ever does. But I mean, Myro continues to impress, even if I was fading it for a while, even though I was holding a bag, by the way. Even though I was holding a bag, I was fading it because I thought, it looks kind of dead to me. It looks like it's not really gonna to make another big move here. Came back down into this range. Now I bought in, I got in before this big rip right here. I got in, I want to say like maybe right in this range right here. And then it came up, then it came way back down. I was like, well, I guess that's it. And then it pumped back up here, and I was like, "Can I sell or not?" Like, you know what? I'm just gonna let it ride. So then I sold right here just in case, and made a few Solana, and then it came back down here, and I was like, "Oh shit, I'm buying again." So I bought again, this time at 5.5, almost 6 cents. So I was in a better position, and then boom, it started to rip. And then when it came up near the top right here, I sold again. It came back down into like 12 cents, and I bought again, and then boom, it absolutely ripped. And then I have like 50 Solana off of that. And I mean, I started off with, at the time when they paid me, I got 7 Solana. So I turned 7 Solana into like 50 Solana with Myro. So happy with that one. But anyway, I think Myro is going to rip. It just hasn't so far. And then over here, we got Ben having a tiny bit of a breakout. It's not a breakout yet. Those machines are just the start of everything. You'll see some continued movement. I think we're going to 85 pretty soon. So I think you'll see that move start to happen. Advantage at 43.74. Avic at 10.97. Sandshoe down to 81.96. Bone $1.08. You see it. Look, if you look around here, you can see like all of these tokens right now are just kind of, are down 15, 20, 40%. You know what I mean? Just really struggling. Nico down 24% on the day. Wen down 18% on the day. Dev E down 16%. GME down 16. By the way, GME, probably another opportunity for a breakout. Jesus Christ, I draw like shit. This is a disaster here. Anyway, so I thought that, if you find a bottom on GME, and it keeps breaking out at this line right here at 24.60. So let's put this ray up here. It keeps breaking out right there. So boom, and it takes off. Boom, it broke through and then took off. Boom, it took off. Boom, it hit here, and now it's looking like it's taking off again, like it just did over here. So this might be your last call before another big move. You might 2x on your GameStop if you're paying attention. So could be something cool happening right there. I still just GameStop, I keep thinking that it's going to have these big breakout moments, and so far it has. And by the way, Trump's still going to do $1 billion market cap. It's down at the bottom of this range. I think that it's going to continue on, and we're going to see, like, it's going to double pretty soon. You know what I mean? Like the rush to $1 billion market cap for the Trump token is going to start pretty soon. So if you're not holding, you certainly should be. Should be looking for a dip, and like this looks like, if this is right, this is the dip. You know what I mean? It's down in this range, so you might see it continue. You might not. I don't know. But I think that Trump is about to break out a little bit higher, and $1 billion market cap before the election. So, but Myro down over 13%. Dog with Hat down 10.5%. Pepe down 10%. Volt down 10%. Jesus is down 7%. Jesus is going to just take off in a second. Like, guys, I really feel confident that Jesus is about to take off as we get a little bit closer to Easter. People are going to be like, oh yeah, I should be religious. I shouldn't be a piece of shit. And you know what I mean? And then boom, it's just going to start ripping. Just so you guys know, last Easter, and you have to zoom in on it because, but going into the last Easter over here. There we go. So you can see right here, like when it launched, which was around Easter, it absolutely ripped, and then you get into May, and it just starts ripping, and then you get into the end of May right here, just absolutely sending and shit like that, right? And then kind of idles, and keeps idling until we get to November. It starts a little bit of a pump because guess what? Guess what? It's Jesus's birthday, and then boom, we get towards Christmas, and look at this shit right here. Then it goes to absolutely parabolic land, goes up near an all-time high, and then comes back down, retests at a huge high, and then boom, takes off again to its all-time high, and then retests, reconsolidates, comes back down, but doesn't come down too far. Like it's not down too far. We're looking at 32 million market cap, 3.3 million in liquidity. So around Easter, we're gonna get that Easter pump. Those religious holidays, we're gonna get those religious pumps off of Jesus. So um, I don't know if that makes me a bad person or not, but not my problem. So anyway, now onto the liquidity levels. So you can see where the liquidity is, but I would expect probably a move towards an upside. It looks like upside momentum at this point because you're still just ranging around 72,000, and you haven't just ripped down to gouge these areas. So I would say that a rip up to 73,220, about 1,000 points from where we are right now, is probably the next thing in the cards. And if so, maybe even 73,500. A lot of liquidity sitting in that range. And of course, when you start popping these shorts, when you start liquidating these shorts, it makes it easier for the price to continue to go up. And since you're at the top, and since you're in price discovery mode, there's not really a bunch of motivated sellers. It is my estimation that if there's sellers, the sellers are going to be motivated to hodl until around 75, which, by the way, is that 74,700 right there, because these pieces of shit try to put themselves right under 75, if you know what I mean. Like, just like, oh, I don't want to go 75. I want to get 74.7. You know what I'm saying, bro? That's how you do it. You know what I mean? Or whatever they fucking say. But that's what I think is getting ready to happen. Now, 24 hours, we've got a couple that are starting to slip down into buy territory. We'll see if they do. In the long term, you can see like what a big move Reef had. Look at this shit right here. Reef went absolutely nuts. USTC still ranging down here. USTC will have a move at some point, but I don't know what's going on with it. And then liquidity, STP, RAD, MAV. So we got some that are coming down into range. SUI coming back down into this range. Probably, if SUI does, then it'll probably have a big move. You got Hook, MAV coming in, XMR. You've got combo coming down. When it gets into these ranges here, that's when we'll be looking for a buy. So in the meantime, extreme fear and greed, 92 right now. People are still in this market, still waiting for the absolute rip to start happening. All of this stuff is just continuing to pump. Like, I mean, guys, we're in the bull. We haven't hit the golden bull yet. We haven't hit that golden bull, or it really hasn't taken. We haven't hit the altcoin bull cycle, I guess I should say. Once we hit that altcoin bull cycle, and we really start to see some of that cascade of capital coming down, we're at a $1.4 trillion market cap for Bitcoin. Pull 300 billion of this away, and then let it cascade down here and see what some of this shit looks like after that. You know what I mean? We're getting to that point right now. In order to get into the top 100, it currently takes $1.1 billion market cap. So a lot of these tokens got a long way to go to get to the top 100. So there you have it, guys. That's it. That's the show for the day. So thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you so much. If you got a special token that we're not covering here and you want it covered, then that's done with super chats. So I apologize if I didn't get to you today, but I got to go. I got a show to do for the Chicago Bulls, for the Chicago Bears, and Justin Fields hasn't been traded yet. So time to pay the bills, and then we'll see you again tomorrow. Guys, right now, this moment, this is the time to increase your crypto portfolio. You're probably not going to want to cash out for at least another year. You're probably not going to want to cash out at least for 9 months. The top of this market is not coming for another year and a half, 18 months, maybe even 2 years. In that period of time, what you want to do is have as much of your crypto as you possibly can. And that's where Cryptonomy.finance comes in. That's where you stake in order to earn more yield. Take these fixed rates over here, grab your favorite crypto. I'm going to go in on a little bit of SHIB. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this right here. I'm going to convert this over to Bitcoin. I'm going to use 0.2 Bitcoin, and I'm going to do this for 12 months. I'm going to earn 100% more SHIB than I currently have. That's all it took for me to make this happen. Now, the big money is not from the fixed. The way that you get more is right here. It's all of these launches. This launch pool right here, this is the place to.
I'm about to drop some hugely powerful alpha. And that's what they call it. They call it alpha, believe me. Okay? And not many people know this, but alpha means that I know big things, strong things, powerful things. So here's the alpha, folks. If you want to be hugely rich like me, you got to join and subscribe to the Believes Crypto YouTube channel. You got to become a member because many people say, quite frankly, it's the strongest YouTube channel out there. It's fantastic. It's the best. So let me know what you think, folks.